Homelessness 2.0, day 13. I'm currently looking for The Lord of the Rings on my computer, but I think it's gone. I wanted to watch it because I'm feeling absolutely terrible today. I wanted to go to the store when I was finished with, by the time I was finished uploading these videos, I felt crummy. And then my face started hurting. It was like somebody had punched me in the nose. And, I could tell it was like some sort of upper respiratory type infection. For all I know, it's COVID. Because, that's what the situation is nowadays. The pandemic isn't over, by the way, people. I don't care if you think vaccine mandates are somehow unconstitutional. They're not. Look up the Massachusetts Supreme Court law. I can't remember exactly what it's called. It's like 1918 or somewhere around there. Some of it's regarding the Spanish flu, but it's for public health. It's the same way you get vaccines when you take your kids to school, or if you're going to go to college, or whatever. If you're going to be around in public, especially if you're going to be in close proximity to people on a regular basis, there's a specific line of vaccines that you need to take because some of these things are extraordinarily contagious. And that's also one of the reasons why we have, no outbreaks of things like polio and measles, for the most part, smallpox, etc., because vaccines work. They have been around for not just longer than you, but longer than our society that we know about. And I don't mean historically knowledge. I mean what we've experienced in life. The things that we have experienced in our lives haven't been around as long as the functionality of vaccines. They work. You can start bringing up all the other stuff. Well, what if I still got the if I got the vaccine and I still got sick? I've been hearing that exact thing all of my life. When I was a child, I didn't understand how it worked. I didn't understand that you could have had the actual virus in your body before you got the vaccine, and as such, you would think that the vaccine gave you the sickness, but that's not what happened. You already had the sickness. It's just that you are incapable as a human to be able to determine the difference between correlation and causation in most cases because you don't have all the information. Now, when you learn about these things, when you learn about the fact that you're getting a dead virus, i.e. flu, for instance, it can't do anything to you. It's dead. It's not even like a dead corpse. Where, in a way, you could say it's kind of like a dead corpse. The corpse isn't going to give you humanity. If you're around a corpse, it's not going to rise up and then be a part of society. It's not going to proliferate in that way. What it will do is create, effectively, a defense mechanism to get rid of the corpse. We, as humans, do not like the look or smell of dead things, especially people, so we will get rid of the corpse. And that is what your body is doing when you are introduced with a dead variant of a virus, like the flu. The flu doesn't mutate nearly as fast as the cold, which is why we don't have a vaccine for the cold right now. The cold virus mutates like crazy, which is why we get colds in the summer, we get colds in the spring and fall. We get them all year round. Now, of course, we get them more frequently now during flu season because we're doing things like staying indoors. Also, air is drier and colder, which are more habitable environments for the cold virus. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you get a shot and it gave it to you. People are like, oh, well, the vaccine isn't that effective. It's extremely effective. The efficacy increases the more people who get it. The whole point of the vaccine is not about you, it's about us as a whole, as a species. The point of the vaccine, the whole point, it's not about ensuring you don't get the vaccine or you don't get the virus. It's so that we don't get the virus. Yes, people will still get the virus, people will still get sick, and people will still die. That's what happens with the flu. But the point is, the more people who get it, the harder the virus has, the harder chances, or rather, the more difficult it is for the virus to actually spread. You're basically creating walls. So if you're all Donald Trump, you want to build a wall, make Mexico pay for it. That's what we did with the flu virus, or with the coronavirus. That's literally what we did. We took part of the virus and we said, hey, this part right here can help us build our wall. We don't even need the whole thing. We just need the part of it. We need the spike protein. Because that's how it gets into our country. This illegal immigrant, the coronavirus, is getting into our country, our bodies. And we want to protect from that. And you know what we did? We took a shovel, we copied a shovel, and then we built fucking walls out of it. If that's the metaphor you need to go get the shot, do it. It's not about your immune system. It's not about you being healthy. It's about us. It's about all humans. I don't know how to tell you we need to care about other people. That's the whole fucking point. Get the fucking shot, please. We can end this. We could have ended this a lot longer. We could have had a president that said, yo, look, I'm going to be real with you. While right now, there aren't that many people with it, we have this task force. We have this pandemic task force. They're going to go out and they're going to go kick some ass. They're going to do everything they possibly can. They're going to go to the proper countries. They're going to create specific restrictions to people who are coming in from certain countries, etc. They will communicate with the people who are necessary in order to get this information to us so that we can act, so that we can prevent this virus from spreading within our country, because it is a novel, i.e. new virus. And because it's new, we don't have the tools on hand right now to completely stop it from proliferating everywhere. So what we're going to do is we're going to monitor the hell out of this situation. All right? If we find that there is community transmission within our borders, then we as a nation will have to take the necessary steps forward, which will mean that we will have to create shutdowns. And you know what? We know it worked. We absolutely 100% know for a fact that shutdowns worked. Do you know how we know? Look at Australia and New Zealand. New Zealand's been doing better than Australia. But nevertheless, those two countries have been doing extremely well. Now, there are people there who absolutely hate the fact that every time there's a small little outbreak, that they're basically closing everything down again. I get that. I understand that. But at the same time, part of that, it's like their frustration is angled wrong. They're pointing it the wrong direction. It's not their country's fault. It's everybody else who's fucking it up. That's whose fault it is. The Prime Minister of New Zealand is doing a fantastic job. If you don't like her, I'm sorry, but she's doing it for us. For everyone. It's not just, this is not an American thing. This is not a UK thing. It's not a European thing. It's a human global thing. And you know, this might seem like out of left field, but really not. I used to really like alien invasion films like a whole lot. Independence Day. Perfect. It's still a great film. There's a whole lot of plot holes and stuff in it that are just ridiculous. But nevertheless, I really liked that film. And even though I still like it, I don't like it the way that I used to like it. And the reason why I don't care about those kinds of films anymore is because the reason I liked them, which was this greater threat came to Earth, was starting to devastate us, and our response was to work together to defeat it. But reality has shown me that doesn't work. I don't like those movies because I don't like humanity anymore. I've given up on you. There's still some hope and there's still some desires for things to get better, but I've given up. I don't care. You've given me reason not to care. And I already have enough of my own problems in life that create more and more depression. This is just yet another layer. This is an external issue, though. You know, the people that I looked toward, that I sought as, if you will, a salve, a healing to the pain and devastation that is my life. You know, there's a reason why Chris Cornell, Anthony Bourdain, Chester Bennington, etc., why they're dead. It's because they killed themselves. It's because they had depression. It's because despite the fact that they had all the money and the wealth and the fame in the world, depression still wins. And when I see the last almost 2 years now with just looking at it and watching this behavior and seeing these idiots go to public town halls wearing fucking Stars of Davids because they think they're the ones being oppressed. They somehow think they are the Jews of the Holocaust, which they probably would deny in the first place, but nevertheless. Now, almost 2 years later, almost an entire year after vaccines came out. Oh, vaccines happened way too fast. It's because we threw so much fucking money at it. Like, that's why vaccines take so long in the first place. That's the one factor. You don't know this because you don't care about it because you care about something else and you're using the vaccines we're so fast excuse. That's an excuse. It's not a valid reason and you know it. It's not because it was too fast. It's because you don't care about other people. You don't. You're selfish. And you've proven it to me time and time and time again. Yeah, there's people out there who are doing the right thing. I get it. But we need a critical mass of the everyday people to do the right thing. And we don't have it. Back in early March of 2020, which feels like so fucking long ago, yet at the same time last week, I was having a conversation with one of my coworkers when I was still working at iHeart. And I said, one of the worst case scenarios, besides, hundreds of millions of people, dying, was that this will become sort of like another seasonal flu. That's what our future looks like now. We're not going to end COVID. It's here to stay. Unless something stupendously drastic happens. Logistically speaking, COVID is here to stay. And not only is it here to stay, it has a better kill rate than the flu does. When people are like, oh, well, there's like 300 and some odd million people, but only so many. Yeah, but look at how many people who get COVID die. Not how many people there are total in the United States versus how many who died. It's not how kill rate works. Not to mention, you don't care about those people. It just validates more of your behavior. You don't give a shit. You're like, well, the kill rate, blah, blah, blah. You know what? What about all the other problems that comes with it? What about the fact that people who get sick with it, who become permanently disabled, can't work, can't provide for their families, for months can't see their families because they don't want to get them infected or or damaged? Because it's not just you live or you die. It's not that you just have a 99% survival rate. Survival comes in so many forms, but like, why do we only give a crap about surviving in this stupid ass country or in other countries who think similarly? Why is it that you either live or you don't? Because I'm going to tell you right now, as somebody who, for most of their life, has not been able to live their life, survival sucks. Being in a survival mindset is exhausting. It sucks. It's horrible. I don't wish it upon anybody except maybe the people who don't give two shits about other people. I wouldn't mind if you got to suffer through just surviving. Then maybe you'd have this empathy. But see, that's the problem. You don't have empathy. See, sympathy is when you understand, for all intents and purposes, when you experience something similar to somebody else. Empathy is understanding without having experienced it. It is a form of emotional intelligence that is beyond sympathy. That is my own definition, and a former psychologist agreed with me. They were even shocked that I understood the difference. This was in my early 20s. I've held on to the same concept for as long as I could, because it makes sense to me. And I'm sure, there are definitions out there that say that they're both the same in some way or another, but I think that there's a difference. I really do. It's why we can sit there and watch a film about something that doesn't even happen to us, that doesn't even necessarily have humans in it, and we still feel emotions. That's empathy. And I still have a headache from yesterday, even though I just took my ibuprofen, and we'll see. So I don't know if I'm gonna... I shouldn't go anywhere today. I shouldn't be out in public, because I don't know what kind of illness this is yet. I don't have the ability, really, that I'm aware of, to go see a doctor. So I'm just gonna stay here, just like I normally do. So it's Saturday now, I think. I don't even remember what day of the week it is anymore. And if I'm lucky, I'll be able to watch Lord of the Rings, because that's what I was intending to do, to nurse this BS. And I've got to clean up some dishes and make some food, and hopefully I'll feel better by the end of the day. But, yeah, we're fucked, because a few people in power couldn't get their ego in check, and then a lot of the people who followed them were like, well, that person's not doing anything, we shouldn't. And then we've got other people who are in power who didn't want to help us, and now this is where we're at. Have fun.